Hello everyone, welcome to the 100,000 subscriber special stream. Wow, it took a long time to get here, about almost 8 years. I honestly never thought I would hit 100,000. And for those of you wondering, yes, I am at 116,000 now. That's largely because of my collab with Alternate History Hub. Basically, I was at like 97, 98,000, and then that collab just basically just zoomed me over the edge. So even though I'm almost 17,000 subscribers late, it's really only been about a week since I hit that. But either way, I'm just really thank you everyone for subscribing to my channel. I really never thought that I would get this far. And I guess the next goal is, 250,000 maybe. Either way. So there will be some questions I will answer. How this will work, I made a little Reddit thing on my subreddit. The link is in the description, so you should be able to click on it. And if you don't have a Reddit account, you should be able to make one really easily. But you just answer your questions here, and you can also upvote and downvote whichever questions you would prefer, or which questions are clearly spam or whatever. And I will, of course, take the time to answer these questions at several times throughout the stream. So, like I said, the link's in the description. So while we're doing other stuff during this live stream, feel free to add some questions on here. And I will be going here twice in case you missed the first time I start reading off questions. Another thing that I will be doing is I will start a game of Risk on Conquer Club if you guys want to play me at Risk. I will also start the game, and then it'll give you guys some time to find the game and join the game so we can play some Risk, and that'll be fun. And then I'll also be premiering new music, and yeah, so this will be fun. See, I assume you all can hear me well. I'm guessing you can. So, anywho, first I'm just going to go ahead and start the game. So, let's see. So anyway, Conquer Club, if you don't have an account on there, it's free. You should be able to make one. And when I make the game, there should be a game number that'll pop up that you can help find. Or my username's just Emperor Tiger Star, so you should be able to find the game. And it's basically online Risk. So, let's see. Let's do a fun one. Eurasia. The Eurasia map's really cool. I mean, look at all these territories. It's really cool. It's got a lot of cool areas you can try to build up your forces in and stuff like that. And it's a really fun game. We're gonna have let's go with 6 players. Then let's see. Let's go with automatic, sequential, escalating, chain works. And then just for a round limit, we can do 100 rounds in case it takes way too long. And then we can do Fog War. Cool. So if you guys want to play Risk with me, this is the game number right here. You should be able to search for it, or if not, you can just go to the join games area, and you can either find this game or my name, or you could just you can just search my name on Conquer Club and find the games that I'm playing. There's many ways to find this game, but I will leave this game up to wait for people to join. So the game number is 1753697. So just pause, write that down, whatever you need in case you want to play me Risk. And then the first thing we're going to do, and of course here's the thing for questions, which is in the description. Then the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to premiere some new music. In case you guys somehow don't know, I do have a music channel, and I just make random music on there. And so while I wait for people to join the game and to submit more questions, I will be premiering 2 new songs that I made. And my music channel is also, you can just find it, on my main channel, just on the side over here, ETS Music. And I just post random music on here from time to time. This first song that I made is actually a disco song. If any of you are familiar with Ken Burns, the guy who makes documentaries, he had a really famous documentary over the American Civil War, and one of the songs used on there was it was just like a violin song. It was called "Ashokan Farewell," and for whatever reason, I just got this idea of that this violin would actually make a really good like disco tune if I added like drums and guitars and stuff in front of it. And this one's actually a pretty short song, but that's going to be the first song I'm going to play. Oh, as usual, the comments are just so lovely. Well, if you're gonna wipe the floor with me and Risk, very annoying. Oh, wow. Wow, the game's already started. There we go. This is great. Okay, well, that was the first song. So we already got people for the game. This is good. It'll keep us entertained while the other music is playing. So again, our territories are evenly distributed, and they all start out with 3 troops. Now, if you've never played on this site before, officially you have 24 hours to take your turn. However, I would love to do this game during the stream, because you can just play real time as long as all the other players are on. One of the features I include is a feature called Fog of War, which means that you can't see who owns what territory and how many troops are on it that aren't directly touching yours. And so I'm red, so those are all my little territories in red. So yeah. So while it appears that Hunter is starting first, and so it won't be my turn for a bit. But until we wait, I'll go ahead and start the other song. This other song I made is more of a rock song. It's kind of inspired by songs from The Who a little bit, just a little bit. Like we're talking about like Eminence Front Who as opposed to like their more chaotic stuff, basically. But yeah, so this will be the second song. All right, and that was my second song. I hope you enjoyed those two songs. Like I said, those are on my music channel, which you should totally subscribe to because I just post random music on here all the time. Some of it is covers. I also had kind of a full album. I've also done occasional streams where I've just done, like, a music listening party, like for my first album. But anywho, if you want to hear more music from me, then please subscribe to my music channel. So let's see, that one's done. We got a lot more questions on here now, which is good. Remember, you can upvote and downvote which questions you like. Preferably only downvote if you think the question is just spam or stupid or I've answered it 10,000 times. And upvotes are usually way more important. And let's see. So, I'm kind of surprised that we got these players already in the game. Let's see how far we've gotten along. So currently, Hunter and Attila the Buns have taken their turns already, and they're just making the go-around. And I'm sure as these players get used to how this game works, it'll go by much faster, especially as players get eliminated too. So yeah. And while I wait for it to be my turn, I can always start answering some questions. Alright, so refresh. Alright, so the top question. Do I have any favorite maps I've made? What maps have annoyed me the most? Whether it's creating, finding information for, etc. Oh, and favorite video I've made is probably still, I mean, both World War II in Europe every day and the history of Europe every year are probably my favorites, simply because like World War II every day at first, a long time ago, when my channel was only like a few years old, the idea of doing a massive war like that on a map every single day was seen as like, oh, that's impossible. That's not, oh, that would take way too much time, dedication, and information. There's no way you'd be able to map that out. And for the longest time, that was like the attitude of me and any of the other channels that did maps. And then basically when it came to World War II, I've made like 9 videos over World War II. You can only see like 2 of them in terms of like over Europe. You can only see like 1 or 2 of them, and that's just because like each version of mine has just gotten better and better. Because it's almost like getting to World War II every day was like a stepping stone. So like the first video I made was really crappy and horrible. It was almost just like a slideshow of just like, this is what it looks like at the beginning, and in the middle, and more in the middle, and then D-Day, and then the end or whatever. Like we're talking about like maybe 10 slides, and it was really bad. And then like, I kept making better and more detailed versions. Eventually I got to a point where I had like World War II in Europe every month. And I thought, wow, this is really detailed, man. Every month? No way. Then I made one for like every week, every 3 days. I don't know. I can't remember why I did every 3 days. I think it was because like it was half a week and I didn't want to do like 3.5 days, so I just did 3. And then eventually I just said, you know what, I'm going to do it. And I decided to do World War II every day. It took forever to make, or at least like several months, and took a lot of research and stuff. But I think what helped is like, since I had so many videos that were like stepping stones, like having a World War II every 3 days kind of helped. Because all I was doing was filling in the gaps rather than like researching every single little thing. But of course, I pretty much researched nearly everything anyway, because I always try to make sure that I didn't have any mistakes, and to make sure that if I did have any, that I could fix it for this version. And really just the amount of detail and research that went to that video, I mean, I'm even today, it's been like 4 years almost since I've made it. Hard to believe. 4 years since I made that video, and I'm still just like really satisfied with it, just because it's just the amount of detail is amazing, and I'm really proud of it. So, I mean, that one's definitely probably my favorite. Although history of Europe every year is high up there too, just because kind of like World War II, you know, it's just like what mapping out the history of Europe every year that is so complicated, that is not going to happen. But then eventually I just tried it and got around to it, and um, you know, again, just a lot of research, and I was really happy to finally get it done. Speaking of which, before I get to the next question, so I have a little thing to announce. I promised that the History of the Middle East every year video would be in June, but it's June 29th, meaning I have like 1.5, not even 1.5, like 1.25 days to like finish it, and it's just not going to happen. I'll show you where I'm at right now. This is where I'm at in the video, and yes, I do make all my videos in Paint and Movie Maker, if you somehow didn't know that. Because I have to tell people that like every single time I do a question stream, like, what, you make your videos on Windows Paint and Movie Maker? Yes I do. This is where I'm at right now. I'm only at the year 1125, and while I've done everything past the year 1900, that's still like, you know, several hundred slides I have to make. And based on, you know, it being close to 4th of July, so there's holiday and family stuff, and then there's just the fact that the Middle East is pretty complicated, especially like this little area right here is always super, super complicated, and it never wants to like stay still. It just always keeps like breaking up and uniting together and breaking up and uniting together. And there's just like the Seljuk Empire and the way it's crumbling, it's invaded and crumbling apart, has slowed me down more than I thought it would. Really, I think things will get way easier as soon as I get to the 1500s, where the Ottomans just come in and basically take over most of the Middle East, and then that'll be much easier. But since I only have 1.25 day, there's just no way that I would have that done in time. Now, I would say that I would definitely have it done soon-ish, maybe within a week. At least I certainly hope so. So I'm really trying to get this, as much of this done as possible, but I'm just not going to make the deadline. So I'm not going to make it in June, sadly, but I will make it. And as a consequence, because I really want to work on this, the 100,000 subscriber live stream special is essentially my video for this week. So there's not going to be a normal video this week, because again, I just don't want to waste any more time working on something else when I can finish this, because I really want to finish this. And I hope you'll like this video when it comes out, because I'm really looking forward to finishing it. But oh, by the way, look at all these tabs I got open. Isn't that great? But yeah, so sorry I'm not gonna quite like finish it in time like I promised, but like I said, I've been working on it. So let's see. All right, it is Matthew Hughesly's turn. Housley, Hughesly, whichever. Starting that, it's almost my turn. So yeah, might as well look at some comments for a little bit. See, someone still always asks, like, what programs do I use? It never fails. It's Paint and Movie Maker. It's always been Paint and Movie Maker. Yeah, it is very mountainous, and that's probably why it changes around. Because like a lot of the Caucasian countries, you know, it's like since they're so isolated in the mountains, they've definitely been stubborn to invasions, and they've also fought each other. Let's see, is it finally my turn yet? It's not. Matthew, if you could start turn, that'd be great. In the meantime, I need to get a charger for my computer so I can plug that in so it doesn't die on me or something when I stream, because it looks like I've only got 37 minutes left. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's see. And he still hasn't started his turn yet. I'd say one flaw about Conquer Club is, sadly, I cannot, just randomly kick people out. Like if you miss turns, it kicks you out after like 3 turns, but you get 24 hours. So I was really hoping it would just be people. See if I can find him. I don't think you can like just drop from games either, as far as I know. I really hope he starts playing his turn soon. Well, he told me that, okay, I guess he just messaged me that someone can take his place, but the problem is that, sadly, we can't. So, shoot. Unless he starts playing soon, I'm just going to have to start another game. Which, that sucks. Yeah, it looks like he's not going to be able to come on. So, I'll just start another game, and I'll pick a smaller map, I guess. You know what? Let's do Europe 1914. We'll do it with just 5. So that way. So all the people who are in this game, be prepared to join the other game. I'm really sorry. Again, do not join these games if you don't plan to finish during the stream, because that kind of ruins it. All right, so those people who join the other game, just click on my profile, and you should be able to see like things that games I've joined. Again, this is the new number. 175-36-996 if you want to join this game. So just those same other people who are in this can join this. So woohoo, so we're starting a new game. This one is actually 1914 Europe, which is another fun one. It's not as big as Eurasia, but it's really fun. In this one, you can win by either keeping a hold of all of the Allied power capitals, which hilariously they just gave Serbia the entire, or not Serbia, Bulgaria the entire Balkans, which is kind of funny. But you can win the game by either holding all the Allied capitals, which is of course Britain, France, Italy, and Russia, or the Central Power capitals, which are these 4. So, anywho. Oh, good. It's already started. Thank you. Sorry about that. And it looks like I'm starting first this time. So this is what it looks like when you start a turn. All right, first I have to deploy my troops. That actually seems like a good start. There. All right, my turn's over. Attila the Buns, it is your turn. All right, so while that game gets started, well, technically this game will still exist. The difference is Matthew has 24 hours to take his turn, or rather 23:47, and if he misses 3 turns, he's out. So for the other 4 people who join this game, you could still, come online and play this game if you want. Everyone's turn is 24 hours. So even after the stream, even if you get busy, you just have to check in like once a day to see if it's your turn. So this game can still go, but it won't go for the stream because, this game is what we have to worry about. So, woohoo. Let's answer some more questions, which I did make a fancy graphic for, by the way. A few people have asked like, oh, if your cat thingy is like an emperor, then why is he wearing a helmet instead of a crown? I just think that pickle halbs are cool. I just like that and helmets in general, so I usually have him wear a helmet. But I did have a little thing made to where he's wearing a crown. So yes, that is what he looks like in a crown. This crown is a mixture of the British and Prussian crowns. So that's what he looks like in a crown. So anyway, let's read off some more questions. So I pull some stuff up. Yeah, I know. Like I said, I prefer the helmet too, but crown's nice. I mean, it's good to be an emperor or whatever. It's good to be king, emperor, and all that stuff. So anywho, reading off more questions. All right, so I already answered the first question, favorite maps I've made. His second question was, which maps have annoyed me the most, whether it's creating, finding information for, etc. Well, the Middle Eastern video is certainly annoying me, finding all the information. Europe was really annoying in creating for a while because, like, during medieval times, the feudalism part was just so bad that just a lot of research. So the next question. Oh, this person has 3. It's been upvoted. Question number 1, what do I do in my spare time besides mapping? Question 2, am I in contact with any other mappers? Question 3, what is my favorite continent and why? Alright, so the first one, what do I do in my spare time besides mapping? Well, I make a lot of music. I also have a job at a local library. So I work at a library, that's fun. So it's actually a really awesome job. If you've been to past streams before, I've talked about a few work stories, but yeah, I work at a library and that's really fun. Music. I guess I do the other stuff that normal people do, like binge watch shows and stuff. But pretty much that's it. Like working, making music, making videos, and then eating Netflix and all that stuff. But I'm also in college, but it's the summer right now. Generally, like, I'll go out with friends to movies and stuff, but in terms of like what I do in my spare time, if like not including that, then yeah, it's pretty much just making music, making videos, and work. Contact with any other mappers? Yes, pretty much. There are tons of Discord and Skype groups that I'm a part of that have the other mappers. So I chat with them almost every day. So yes, I am in contact with plenty of them. However, in real life, no, because typically all the mappers are thousands of miles away from me and usually in Europe or on the other coast or whatever. I actually live in the Midwest in Missouri, so I don't have a coast. But, you know what I mean. They live far away. Favorite continent. That depends what you mean by favorite continent. I'm going to go with favorite shape. In terms of a favorite shape of a continent, I would have to go with Europe, just because it's just so cool, so cool. Then let's see if favorite continent in terms of history, though. I mean Europe. Yeah, I mean it's pretty much Europe. Europe's just so interesting. The next question is hilariously, what is the color of my toothbrush? Currently, it's green, but every single time I go to the dentist, whenever you're done, they just give you like a free new toothbrush and a free thing of toothpaste and floss or whatever. And for whatever reason, the toothbrushes they give me are always like really good and they last a while. So pretty much what I do is I'll just keep that because for those of you who don't live in the United States, it's really common to go to the dentist like twice a year. You don't have to, but it's pretty common for most people who can afford it. So I actually, believe it or not, went earlier today. So I will be using a new toothbrush tonight. But the one that I've been using for the past 6 months has been like a light green color. I haven't even checked to see what my new toothbrush is. Well, that was a random fun question. Okay. What is the longest amount of time I've spent on a single map? I mean, it kind of depends, because like World War II every day took several months. Europe took several months. The problem is like with Europe, for example, I worked on it for almost a year, but there was like I worked on it for like a month, then I stopped for like 3 months because I got busy with other stuff, and then I picked on it again later, and then I didn't even post the preview until like September, when it was a few months away. I generally don't post previews until I've done a significant amount of the video done. It depends on what the video is, but either way, both of those videos took me several months to work on, if we're not including like long periods of breaks. All right, let's see how the game is doing and if it's my turn yet. Refresh. Okay, it's my turn again. Alright, so as you can probably tell, my current strategy is to focus on Russia first, because that seems to be where most of my troops are at. So, let's see. Put one there. And I'll put some on Cyprus. Wow, so that ate up my troops. That sucks. Wow. Okay, that ate up a lot of my troops, even though there's only one troop on there. That's bad luck. Sucks. Keep that there, and then... Alright, so that'll be my second turn. Can't believe Greece ate up all my troops. Oh, I wonder if there's going to be like nationalist comments in the front lines of like, oh yeah, man, the Greeks are good at defending and all that stuff. No, I do not play Warlight. I've actually never heard of that game before. First strategy game I ever played, Risk. Alright, anywho, let's go back to answering questions. Yeah, alright. Cool, so back to questions. Next question. It's been uploaded. Have I ever traveled outside the United States? By the way, this is Yahir. Hello, Yahir. Second question, what's my name? First question, have I traveled outside the United States? Sadly, I haven't. I really haven't. It's just either been too expensive or I've had no reason to do it. Mainly, it's been too expensive, so I just have never traveled outside the United States. However, luckily, the United States is big enough to where you can just travel to another state, and it's usually different or interesting enough to where there's stuff to do. And so, like, I've been to other states before, but I've never left the country, sadly. As for my name, that's classified. Next question. What's my favorite alternate history scenario? That's a good question. It depends on like how specific you want to get. Like if we're talking about like say a general scenario, just like a list of very general alternate history scenarios, what would be my favorite? Honestly, probably like Central Powers winning World War I, because it's like when you imagine like, oh, what would happen if the Nazis won World War II? Very bad and evil things. It's kind of an obvious answer. But like World War One, it's like it's different because like Germany wasn't like, oh, we're the evil Nazis during World War One. During World War One, it was just imperialists versus imperialists, and so it was just pretty much like which imperial powers were gonna stay on top. So like Germany winning World War One is much more interesting, especially when you add like the idea of like how they would have won World War One and with what methods and at what time, because they could have potentially won World War One at different times. Like for example, if they would have started at the very beginning and like, hey, let's not go through Belgium so Britain doesn't get involved, and let's just run over France like we did during the Franco-Prussian War, and they magically beat France before Christmas like they promised, just by going through France instead of Belgium, and then there's no trench warfare and all that stuff. That would be different versus at the very end where, you know, there's been 4 years of fighting and they just barely win and France surrenders or something like that, and then Britain drops out and all that. Like, it's, you know, it's two different scenarios of Germany winning, and that's much more interesting because like World War II has like, there's a very specific window in World War II, like the only way Hitler could have won is if he did this and then this and then this. It's not like, you know, for example, in 1944, Hitler could have been like, all right, I'm going to magically win everything now, even though D-Day's already happened and Russia's already driven me out of its country and all that stuff, you know. So I'd say my favorite alternate history scenario is a different World War One, however it turns out. Next question, what is my least favorite video? What was the hardest thing I've had to draw? And what was the hardest to research? My least favorite video, I'm not sure I have a least favorite video, because the problem is there are a lot of videos I've made that I'm really proud of at the time, but then I'll make better versions a few months or maybe a year later. Like I've mentioned earlier about my World War II video, and you know, it's hard to say if I have a least favorite, because I'm proud of all my videos at one point. Although there are a few now, I guess, that I made like 4 years ago that are almost cringy just because I've gotten way better at what I do. Hardest thing I've had to draw. Well, I do art besides maps, and I would say the hardest thing I've had to draw was like a forest. And the reason why I'd say a forest is because for whatever reason, I just suck at drawing like the leaves on trees. Because like whenever I draw trees, it's like I keep on going back and forth between like, well, should I draw every single individual leaf to make it more detailed, or should I just have like a general like shadowed in, I don't know, like cloud shape or whatever, and then add a few branches on the inside, you know? Because like I do like to do like pencil sketches, and I try to keep mine like realistic looking as opposed to abstract or cartoony. So like when I do realism, it's like, okay, well then do I do every single leaf individually? But if I don't, then it'll like, you know, look almost like a cartoon tree and I won't like it. And sometimes like when I draw the individual leaves, it almost looks like that uncanny valley of like, this just doesn't look right. It just looks too fake. You know, I hate drawing like trees and stuff like that. And whenever I pencil draw something, so the hardest thing I've had to draw though is like, you know, way back, like back in high school. So like about like maybe like, almost 4 years ago when I was in like my second year of high school. There, you know, one of the things was like, oh, draw a landscape, and I was given like a forest, and I had to draw a forest, and I hated it so much because, like I said, just all those leaves. So that was definitely hard. Hardest thing I've had to research. Basically, you know, just Europe, although the Middle East is getting high up there too. All right, let's go back to the game, see how things are doing. All right, Justin Gorbon's turn. Fun. Well, if you guys want to team up on me, you can. You can do whatever you want. I care not if you make alliances. Anywho, so it's almost my turn, but not quite. I always forget that like the stream on YouTube is always behind by several seconds, and so yeah. Let's see what the cancer comment section is saying right now. Why don't I talk about politics? Because I don't have 10 hours. You know, like, I could argue about politics all the time, and sometimes I do, but you know what? This is a 100,000 subscriber celebration. This is a happy time. I don't want to bring things down and all that stuff. Remember, though, if you want to send questions, send it to the Reddit link in the description. But I might as well answer some here. Have I ever been to Washington, D.C.? No, I haven't, sadly. And then it's all the other... I do have a mod, but I don't think he's online right now. My opinion on Poland Ball, I hate it. I think it's dumb and stupid. Sorry. I mean, you can enjoy it if you want, but I do not... I just have no interest in Poland Ball. I don't like how the art is purposefully sloppy and all that stuff. It's just dumb nationalist jokes, seems like. So I don't like Poland Ball. Sorry. Do I like puzzle games? Yes, I do like puzzle games. Am I gay? I am not gay, actually. How dare I? How dare I? Yeah, how dare I have an opinion? Still, I never thought that that would be the thing that would trigger you guys the most. And the question that I always somehow get, do I play any Paradox games? I don't play Paradox games. How old am I? I am 20, but I'm pretty close to being 21. I'm just like a month and a few days away. Actually, no, it's actually closer to 2 months. Alright, so it's my turn again in the game. Some troops there. Alright, let's see, should I reinforce? I think that's good, because I think Finland will slow the Baltic thing enough. Alright, the next round begins. Alright, back to question time. Would the Prime Minister please explain why she's making cuts to the elderly? No. Oh, wait. Wrong question time. My bad. Alright. Anywho. What motivated me to start making these kind of videos? I enjoy history. I enjoy maps. I found that people they learn things easier when they can visualize it on a map. And so at first I made it just because, you know, it's like, oh, this sounds fun. And then I saw people on YouTube making really horrible, crappy animated maps. And I thought, wait a minute, I can do better than that. So I started making them. It was just fun to make. But then when people started liking them, I thought, okay, I can make a channel about that. And so I just kept making a video almost every week, and here I am today. Still educating people with maps. Favorite monarch and or historical time period, and why? Favorite monarch, that depends if you include like emperors, khans, and all that stuff, shahs, and all those titles, or if you're just talking about like the traditional like European king and queen. I'm assuming though by monarch you just mean in general. That is kind of tough. Because, like, in terms of, like, traditional European monarchs, actually, no, Charlemagne. I like Charlemagne. Charlemagne's a pretty awesome monarch. Although, I guess if you want to count Napoleon too, because he crowned himself emperor, I like Napoleon too. So, I guess those two. As for favorite historical time period, that would be Europe in between like the French Revolution and World War One, like that whole area in there. Basically, the 1800s. That I love that time period of Europe and researching about it. It's just really cool. Germany unites, Italy unites. There's Napoleon, and the decline of the monarchy and the militarization of World War One. It's just also fascinating to read about. Next question: how long does it take to make a video? Well, that depends on the video. There have been some videos I've made in like an hour. But like I've mentioned before, some videos have taken months and months to make. It just depends. I would say ignoring the really big projects, on average, it would take like maybe like a day or two to make, if we're like not including like sleep and eating and breaks and all stuff like that. But not too long. All right, this next person has 3 questions. Have I thought about doing map history videos on separate states like Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, etc.? Question number 2, which alternate history scenario do you want to tackle in an upcoming video? And 3, have you looked into the new statehood territory developments like Lakota, Jefferson, Van Zandt, and Puerto Rico? All right, first one. I'm not sure I would want to do individual states because the problem is doing individual states by themselves. The states in the United States rarely change their border. Like, of the ones that can, I'm trying to think, Nevada has changed like once, Missouri's changed their borders like twice, Ohio and Michigan changed the border once. Like, even the states that do change their border, it just like happens once and that's it. And I think like that would just be too boring of a video by itself, so I probably wouldn't do that. As for which alternate history scenario do I want to tackle in an upcoming video? For those of you who also don't know, not only do I have a music channel, but I have an alternate history channel, which, it's not like the collaboration we did with Alternate History Hub. That's different. This one is just like text slideshows. There's not even like talking in it. So like it's not like anything like super amazing, but I do like have a lot of fun, interesting scenarios. Like, what if the Crusaders conquered Egypt? What if Quebec got independence at 1980 or 1995? What if China colonized America first? And it's just like text and maps and stuff like that. But I still upload here from time to time. As you can see, it's been a while. So subscribe to this channel if you want. One scenario that I promised I would do back in May, but I still haven't gotten around to yet just because of the Middle Eastern video. It's been taking so long. Is I promised I would make a scenario on what if the Treaty of Sèvres, however it's pronounced, it's in French. If the Treaty of Sèvres would remain the treaty for the Ottomans in World War One. And for those of you who don't know, after World War One, the Ottomans had to deal with 2 treaties, and that's because the first treaty was really harsh, and their leader Ataturk said, "We don't like that treaty," and he waged war against Greece, the French in Syria, Armenia, and all this stuff, and he took some land back, and so they had to make a second treaty to accompany that. So, for those of you who don't know, so the Treaty of Sèvres, if you try to imagine like the Ottoman Empire, they obviously lost everything that wasn't Turkey. They gave that land to France, they gave that land to Britain. You can see that like France has more land. Armenia, which was independent for a while after World War One, got this chunk of land. There were influence zones set up. The Allies like occupied like Constantinople, and Greece got like this little area and Eastern Thrace over here. And Ataturk essentially, did not like that, and so he waged war. And then the next treaty was pretty much set up Turkey to its modern borders essentially, and it strengthened Turkey quite a bit. So it's pretty much like oh well, what if that first treaty happens and Turkey started out much weaker? How would history change? As for the new statehood territory developments, I have not looked into it too much. It could be an interesting video. But back to the game, because it's my turn again. Come on. Alright, cool. Put 1 on Finland and 2 on Petrograd, because that's a more fun name than St. Petersburg. Oh wow, that surprisingly took a huge chunk. Alright, so yeah, I'm just gonna end my turn there. For those of you who aren't familiar with this game, there is a feature called Spoils, and how that works is you're essentially given a card every turn. Like if this is the real board game Risk, it would be cards, but here obviously it's not. And you're given cards, and if they're either the same, 3 of the same color, or 1 of each color, because there's red, green, and blue, you can play them. And once you play them, you get bonus troops. So basically, it's impossible to not be able to play a spoil by the time you get 5 cards, because by then you'd have to have 1 of each color or 3 of the same color. It's mathematically impossible not to. But either way, you could get it after 3 cards, or after 4 cards, or after 5 cards. But either way, you get a spoil, and you can play them for bonus troops. And these are the amount of spoils that everyone has. And essentially, you can change the settings on the website to how you want to do it, but I have it escalating. So the first person who plays gets 4 bonus troops, and then it'll get more troops, and then more troops. And after so many turns of playing spoils, it'll eventually get to a point where it's like, oh, you get a bonus like 30 troops, or something like that, and it gets really interesting. So, yeah. That one's always really fun. All right, back to the questioning. What are the most annoying things about using Paint to map? Honestly, there aren't that many annoying things, because like Paint is such like a simple tool, and the type of videos I do doesn't really require that much. It has a pencil tool, it has a fill tool. I can erase things, I can make a box, I can make a circle, and I can use any color in the color spectrum. I can copy and paste things, I can rotate things. Like there's like nothing else that I need to do that Paint can't do, just because my videos are simple enough. It's not like I'm like like painting like a Bob Ross painting or anything. So really, there's not really an annoying thing about Paint. Honestly, it's just the perfect tool for me, really. Next question. Am I the first mapper on YouTube? That depends. Am I the first person to have a channel dedicated to making animated maps of history? Yes. Am I the first person to put an animated map on YouTube? No. There have been plenty of people who have some educational company made some simple animated map, or maybe there's an animated map on like a TV documentary, and people have posted those on YouTube. So those were typically around first, but I am the first channel to like dedicate my channel to making animated maps. So essentially yes and no. Do I ever plan on making tutorials for people interested in getting into mapping? And do I plan on making more... Or let me read that again. Do I plan on making more talking history videos? I do plan on making more talking history videos, because those are fun. Because my collaboration with Alternate History Hub, it's a 4-parter. So I'm doing parts 2 and 4. I've already done part 2, so part 4 will be on here like the middle of July. As for making tutorials and people getting interested in mapping, I've thought about doing it before. I used to have a video a long time ago on how to do it, but it wasn't very good, and so that video is gone. Maybe I'll make a new one someday. I don't know. It just depends if I ever have the time, because there's a lot of things that I can get into. It's simple, but it's just a lot. But we'll see if I ever do that. Any book recommendations? Yes. Any books by Harry Turtledove. He writes alternate history novels, and they are very fun to read. Even if the scenarios don't always quite add up, or maybe the characters aren't always as interesting, it's like if you enjoy history, you'll enjoy reading his novels. He's done a lot of fun stuff, and the best part is like he's really good with details. So, like for example, there was a one of his books where what if America negotiated a deal with the British instead of fighting for independence? So like we essentially became like Canada. We just became a dominion, and how the world developed because of that. And it's set like in like the 1970s, if I remember right. It's been a while since I've read it. Pretty close to the modern day. And one of like the little jokes is like, obviously Richard Nixon never became president because there is no United States. So there's like a little joke where like, for like a few paragraphs, it's like, oh, welcome to Tricky Dick's car sales car lot. And Tricky Dick was a nickname given to Richard Nixon by his foes. And people have made tons of jokes that like Richard Nixon lies enough to where he could, be a car salesman, because it's a joke that car salesmen will lie about whatever they need to just so they can sell you their car. So like fun jokes like that, where like you'll see almost like a cameo of a famous person from history for a while, like in the alternate history collaboration I'm doing with Alternate History Hub. It's over Turtledove's series where the South wins the Civil War and they gain independence. And for example, one little thing is like Theodore Roosevelt becomes president of the United States during World War One, and Woodrow Wilson, who was like in our timeline, Woodrow Wilson was the American president during World War One. In this timeline, he happens to be the president of the Confederacy because he's a Southerner. He was like born in Virginia, so he wouldn't have become an American president, obviously. But fun. It's fun stuff like that. Like I enjoy stuff like that, and also he provides maps with his books. Generally, you get to see what the map looks like, and that's always fun. Yeah, so I'd recommend any book by him. Skipping that question. Favorite country? I don't really have one. I've already explained my YouTube backstory. Do I plan to vacation out the U.S. anytime soon? Well, like I said, it's usually expensive, so I can't. I don't have any current plans to do so. Yes, another question that I get all the time. Is the Tiger Star part of my name a reference to Warriors? Yes. If so, what is my favorite book in Warriors? Book 6, probably. I like book 6. But yes, it is a reference to a character from the Warriors series, because those were my favorite books like back in like middle school and early high school. What's the best thing about hitting 100,000 subscribers? Having all of you awesome guys. Oh, yeah. But really, I don't feel different. Yeah, it's still kind of cool. I guess as soon as it's July, I can apply to get those like silver play buttons, and that'll be fun. I can just like hang it above my fireplace, and so like someday when I'm like 75 years old, I'm really old, I'm sitting in a rocking chair in front of my fireplace. The YouTube silver play button that I made all the way back when I was 20, almost 21, will just be hanging there, and I'll just smile softly, and I'll just know that was the biggest accomplishment of my life. Unless you guys can get me to 1 million subs, which, hey, never say never, right? It took me like 8 years to get to 100,000. Might as well keep going. So, yeah. All right, back to the game. Let's see how that's going. It's my turn again. Excellent. All right, I get to play some spoils for 6 Bonus troops. Looks like someone already played their spoils. All right. All right. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna put them on Moscow. Alright, and now I can reinforce that. Well, no, actually, I think I'll actually keep that troop there. That could be useful. Alright. My plan for allied power domination is getting closer and closer. Because remember, in this game, you don't have to conquer every territory. You just have to get either all the allied capitals or all the central power capitals. And while the central power capitals looks the easiest because they're relatively close to each other, it's in the smack dab middle. So yeah. So even if everyone teams up against me, they still have to determine which one of them gets to win. So have fun fighting amongst yourself among that. But you know, it could happen. I'm just doing the allied powers just because that was the most convenient option. Because most of my troops started out in the Ruskia, Russia. All that stuff. Alright, back to the live dashboard. The comments are cancer as usual. People, a lot of people who just like post like nothing but like 3 to 4 to 5 lines of images are really annoying. Okay. Let's see how this is doing. Wonder how many have like. All right, I've had a few people sub over. That's great. Oh, this is getting closer to 1,000 subs. There we go. All right. No, I'm not playing Roblox. Roblox is stupid. What was the other things on my agenda? Let's play and ask more questions. Oh yeah, the other thing was choosing my next Civ 5 game. I'm not going to play a Civ 5 game during this stream because, again, I want to work on the Middle East video and that'll get this video copyright flagged, so I don't want to worry about that. So, let's see. But I will have you guys choose what will be my next Civ game if I stream that in the future. So feel free to post in the comments. Next time I start a Civ game, who would you like me to play as? Basically, just tell me who you'd like me to play as and what map, and I will write that down so I can do that for next time. So feel free to answer that. No, I will not play Hearts of Iron 4 or Europa Universalis or Victoria. I don't have those games, I can't play those games, and I'm not going to spend the money to buy those games right now. See, I'm seeing Byzantines, I'm seeing Siam. I'm seeing Venice, I'm seeing Arabia. Ooh, Venice. I've gotten 2 answers for Venice. That one's winning so far. I don't know what DeviantArt has to do with anything. Alright, Venice seems to be the answer. A lot of people playing Venice. Alright, so I will play Venice next time I do Civ 5, but I'm not doing that here. See how the game's going. It's Prussian Garbage's turn. That's fun. Guess I could put on more of my music. We wait to keep things entertained. What would be a good one? This one will be good. And I'll turn that down a bit so you guys can still hear me. Yes, I can rate many people's art on DeviantArt. Hunter's turn. Might as well answer more questions while I wait. Do I use a mouse to draw my map's borders? I use a trackpad on my laptop. Shocking, I know, but I just got used to it, and so that's how I've always done it. I've actually found that I struggle when I use a mouse, hilariously. At least for like drawing maps and borders and stuff like that. I just prefer the trackpad. Alright, this guy has 4 questions. The first question, do I like the band Coldplay? Can I name a song of theirs? What country are they from? They're British. I could name several songs of theirs. They're okay. I mean, I kind of preferred older Coldplay when, you know, they were actually a band and not just like some electronic sellout band. Like Sky Full of Stars, and they just went EDM. Like, you're a band. You're supposed to make like you're supposed to make music that a band would make, not just EDM crap. That's one of my biggest pet peeves is when like groups that call themselves bands, like they're a band for a while, but then they just randomly become, no, we look like a band, we act like we're a band, but we're really just the good-looking singer and then a guy who makes electronic music in the background, and everyone else in the band is just for show. Maroon 5 is like that. Coldplay has started to become like that recently. Linkin Park has become like that with their newest album, because their newest album was so disappointing. Such a sellout album, especially because their previous album was like a metal album and it was great, but then they had to just the new Linkin Park album was one of the biggest disappointments of my life. I was more disappointed by the new Linkin Park album than Saint Anger by Metallica, and that is saying something. In case you're not a Metallica fan, Saint Anger is Metallica's worst album. Well, actually, no, Lulu's probably worse, but that's like a collaboration album. But Coldplay's okay, and I can name several songs of theirs. Clocks, Speed of Sound, It Was All Yellow, Sky Full of Stars, all that stuff. Yeah. All right, second question. Which country would I see in the future rule the world based on its history, not including the U.S.? I don't know. I guess China, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to rule the world when, you know, there's nuclear weapons. So I don't think there's really even a good answer to that. Can I name every country in Europe and know where it is on a map? Yes. And just so I can prove to you guys that I'm not cheating, this is the screen, so I'm not going to change the page. I'm not going to pull up a list or anything. I will name every single country in Europe, and I will go in general from left to right, roughly. So Iceland, Ireland, United Kingdom, Portugal, Spain, Andorra, France, Monaco, Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, Germany, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Austria, Italy, San Marino, the Vatican City, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, Germany, Austria. Did I already say Austria? Either way. Germany, Austria, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Poland, Slovenia, Hungary, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Kosovo, Montenegro, Serbia, Albania, Greece, Bulgaria, Romania, Moldova, Ukraine, Belarus, and of course Russia. And then I guess you can include Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan if you count that as a part of Europe, or Turkey, because part of Turkey is in Europe, even though it's not a European country. There's also Gibraltar, which is owned by the British. There's the Faroe Islands, which is owned by Denmark. There's Jan Mayen, which is owned by Norway. There's Svalbard, which is owned by Norway. Yeah, I almost forgot. Malta. There's Malta. And then if you want to count Cyprus, Cyprus is also European. So yes, I can name all the countries in Europe. I guess unrecognized countries, there's Transnistria, there's the Donetsk and Luhansk republics, even though they're not recognized. There's Abkhazia, even though it's not recognized. South Ossetia, Chechnya, even though those aren't recognized, but sure, I guess they're kind of like countries. So yes, I can name every country in Europe. But blam! That was fun. Where's Cody? When is Cody's next video on a Southern Victory going to come out? I don't know, whenever he gets around to it. Hopefully in a week. What is my favorite work of art / map on my channel? I think I've already answered this. World War II Everyday or History of Europe. So... Alright, it's my turn. Excellent. Oh, I almost forgot. Macedonia, or Fyrom, the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. I don't know how I almost forgot that one. Oops. But still. I was close. I almost forgot about that one. Alright. Back to the game, because it's apparently my turn. Alright, and I end my turn. Alright, back to answering questions. Cool. Will I do more collabs with other YouTubers? Yeah, probably. What inspired me to start this? I think I already answered that question. Favorite video to make? I already answered that question. Have I ever... Did I ever think I would get this far? No, I honestly didn't. At least, I don't know. I really never thought I would get this far. I actually thought that I would stop doing the channel after a while. But yeah, no, I'm still doing it. And, you know, it's just amazing that I've gotten to 100,000 subscribers. Yeah. So I never thought I'd get that far, no. Why did I choose Microsoft Paint for my maps? Was it the easiest thing to choose or something else? Pretty much, it's easy to use. It's automatic. It was automatically on every Windows computer. I'm not sure if it is anymore. But, you know, either way, it's easy to get anyway. It's generally on every Windows computer. It's cheap. Or, well, it's free. It's not even cheap. It's free. And it's easy to use. Have I ever considered changing which program I use? Nope. A lot of repeat questions. What is my favorite Star Wars movies? And what are my favorite Star Wars movies in order from least favorite to most favorite? Oh, let's see. Least favorite is Attack of the Clones. Second least favorite is Phantom Menace. Then it would be, honestly, I'm probably going to get a lot of slack for this, but probably Rogue One. Like, Rogue One I thought was really good at first, but then watching it again, I realized it had so many problems, and they kept bothering me. Then Revenge of the Sith. Yes, I actually like Revenge of the Sith more than Rogue One. Shocker. I just really enjoy Revenge of the Sith because it bridges everything together. Then it would be Force Awakens, then New Hope, then Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi, New Hope, and then the best Star Wars movie is The Empire Strikes Back. What state am I from? Missouri. Do I like Liechtenstein? Yes. What's my favorite color? Blue. And what's my favorite kind of tree? That's a good question. I'm not familiar enough with my trees to quite answer that. I guess, like, evergreen trees are cool. I like evergreens. A lot of these are repeat questions. What laptop am I using? I am using an Asus, A-S-U-S. I'm assuming it's pronounced Asus, but I don't even know the official name of the laptop because it's like a string of numbers and letters. It's like 7 numbers and letters long, but it's an Asus. It's a really good laptop. Windows 10. What's my opinion on the Taiwan issue? Leave Taiwan alone. Let it do its own thing. It's not like it's going to try to take over the mainland anytime soon. I think China needs to get over it. All right. Guess I can refresh, see if there are any new questions. Because you can still keep sending in new questions on here. What are my religious and political views? I'm Christian. As for what kind of Christian, it's complicated, but it's non-denominational. Although traditionally I go to a Methodist church. But yeah, I'm Protestant Christian basically. But it'd take me like hours to like explain like how like all the specifics. But Protestant Christian. Political views, I lean towards the left. And I'm essentially left libertarian. Left libertarian is essentially what I am. Although I'm more case by case than as opposed to like, oh, I'm left libertarian with everything. But I'm left libertarian. Lean to the left, and I generally prefer liberties over authoritarian government. So, yeah. So that means the comment section is always such a joy to read, because there's no one else who's a left libertarian, it seems. Or at least very few people. At least they're probably just quiet. That's generally the left libertarian way. We're just quiet. We only raise a fuss when people invade our privacy. Let's see. I have some more new questions. How big of a fan am I of the Warrior series? Well, like I said, it used to be my favorite book series. Do I still read the series? Every once in a while, like since I work at a library, if I see the copy of the new book, it's like, oh, I might as well read it to see how the series is doing. Because it's one of those series where like there are so many books, it just goes on and on and on and on. There's like over like 30 books now, and I've read like maybe like 25 of them. So I'm several books behind, but yeah. Will I ever do a fan meetup? I guess if I ever have the money to go to a con and set up a booth or something, sure. But no immediate plans just because I don't have the time or money for that, sadly. What is my heritage? I mean, I've never done a DNA test or anything, so I'm not quite sure, but my last name is Dutch. Like, it's a Dutch last name. So, I have Dutch in my blood. I think I have German and Welsh in my blood, too. But mostly German and Dutch, from what my family has told me. Although my family has been in the United States since, like, the 1700s. I'm American. But, my last name's Dutch, so, yeah. Alright, let's see if it's my turn in the games. It is. Oh joy. Spoil time. Hmm. 13 there. 2 there. Alright, so I just blitzed my way across Europe. That was fun. Alright, so the game continues. So what war is the most interesting to me? This does not apply to World War... Wait. Oh, this does not just apply to World Wars, any war, Napoleonic Age, 1812, etc. Well, that's the thing. It doesn't just apply to those wars, but like World War II, the American Civil War, and the Napoleonic Wars, those are my 3 favorites. You know, it's just, that's going to be the answer. Have I ever... Actually, let's see. Have I ever had anything pronominal in my life? I'm not sure what pronominal means. So, I don't know if that's like a typo, because like, pronomial has to do with like pronouns, but like, I'm not sure what you mean by that, so I can't really answer that question. My favorite country to play with in Civ 5, probably Japan. If I could live in another country, where would it be and why? That's hard to pick. Canada's a good option. New Zealand's a good option. Australia's an okay option. I mean, everything there is trying to kill me, but, you know, other than that, there are several places in Europe which could be nice. Yeah, plenty of answers. My opinion on Napoleon III. Napoleon III. He tried so hard to be like Napoleon, yet failed so badly. I almost kind of feel sorry for him. He just wanted to make another French Empire. But all he did was essentially make a deal to get 2 places from Italy, and then a few colonies, and then otherwise failed. Do I always remember to beat the devil out of the maps when I draw them? That is a reference to Bob Ross, and that is a wonderful reference. Thank you for making that reference. Bob Ross is a person who does paintings for like 2 decades, almost 3. He had a TV show on PBS where he just did a painting in 30 minutes and essentially taught you how to paint. He just did like wet on wet oil painting, which that's the style he did. And whenever he had to clean out a brush to, like, you know, use it for a new color, what he would do is he would beat the devil out of it. And what that was is, he'd dip his paintbrush in paint thinner to get rid of the paint, and then he would slap the brush against the side of the, I forgot the word. The thing that holds up the canvas, whatever that's called. The tripod thing that holds up the canvas, whatever it's called. He always he beats his brush on the side to dry it up, and he always calls that beating the devil out of it. So that was a fun reference. How did the so-called adpocalypse affect my channel? It affected it for a week, but then it just went back to normal, and I think it's because my content isn't really controversial. It's just maps. I don't say anything controversial. I don't show anything controversial. It's just a map. So really, after a week, it just went back to normal, just because I wasn't doing controversial stuff. So unlike all the drama channels that got impacted or stuff or the news channels, I was perfectly fine after a week. So it didn't affect me that much. What state do I live in? Missouri. Why so many videos on South America? Well, most of my videos are on Europe, so I'm surprised you said South America. I try to do videos in every continent and every place and all that stuff, so, yeah. I just have videos in South America because I tried to do everything. Now, speaking of which, next question. What are my thoughts on South America? Oh, that poor continent. I feel sorry for it all the time. The people there are lovely. The culture there is fun. The music is fun. They also have some good metal bands too. But, just the governments down there can just never have a break, it seems. Let's see. Repeat question. Do I play Total War? Nope, never played it. Alright, let's check back on the game. It's my turn yet. Oh, not quite my turn. I see my offensive was stopped short, sadly, by Prussian garbage. Yes, that 14 stack was creating enemies, but you said you were all gaining up against me, and I have to get to these allied capitals somehow. So, what am I going to do? See what else is lovely. So when I upload the song to my music channel, I did a fancy thing with the graphics. Lightning bolt. Now it's nighttime, and all neon-y, and all the colors and stuff like that. Ooh, Hunter just took Romania. Or Transylvania, or whichever one. Ah, it appears that Hunter is enjoying the attack on green until the buns. As for who's winning this game, it's hard to say when I can't see everything. In terms of territories, Hunter is in first place right now with 14, and I'm close behind with 13. Prussian Garbage is currently in last place, but again, anything can change quickly. So, let's check the cancerous comments section. Have I thought about doing a Game of Thrones map? I'm not really into Game of Thrones, so probably not. I mean, maybe I could eventually, just look up the information and do it, but probably not. I don't know what that means, corpse. When I think of countries, do I think of a certain color? Yes, I do. My thoughts on parrots? They're cool. You miss Pink Floyd? Yes, I miss Pink Floyd too. Pink Floyd's Oh, that was actually one of the songs I did. I did a cover of a Pink Floyd song on here. I did a cover of the song Run Like Hell by Pink Floyd. I can put that song on next. So this one's over. Yes, the Pink Floyd cover is on my album 1. But let's see. That one is about 3:44 in. Oh snap! 24 troops? Uh-oh. I'm in trouble. Yeah, I'm definitely in trouble here. This might be the end of little old me. Or maybe not. Pretty darn close, though. You would pay for an album like this. Well, thank you, but sadly this album is not for sale. It's for free on YouTube. Plus, since I technically didn't ask permission to make this cover of Pink Floyd, I probably couldn't sell it. But, I don't know, maybe I can eventually get around to that. Alright, so I've been crippled, essentially. Not really much I can do. Except keep building back up, I guess. It's really about all I can do, sadly. Yes, I am playing Risk. Keyboard saw that was fun. Alright, and while this keeps going, I will be right back. Okay, I am back. And still not quite my turn yet. As well. Keep continuing. Let's see. Let's put on some space trap music that I made. Crank up the bass and all that. I'll answer some questions for a bit. Okay. Alright, what do I think of the alternate history scenario if Mars never lost its water and remained a habitable planet? Interesting, I guess, but like I've never been into like sci-fi style alternate histories that much. My favorite big alternate history scenario, like for prehistoric events, if the dinosaurs never went extinct, if humans were aquatic, if Antarctica never froze. Like I said, I'm not really into like the sci-fi stuff or things like that. I usually prefer like modern-ish alternate history type stuff. Scariest moment in my life. That's an interesting question. I mean, I've never had a near-death experience or anything. I guess there was one time when I was like really little. We're talking about like I was like 3 years old, and I went to visit. There's a new neighbor that moved in next door. My parents and I went to say hi, and he had some dogs with him. And keep in mind, like I said, I'm 3 or 4, so I'm pretty short. And the dogs he had were 2 Great Danes, so really big dogs, bigger than me, like twice my height, because I was only 3 or 4. And they were really excited, and they were really excited to see me. And for whatever reason, they ran towards me. And because I had never seen dogs that big before, I was petrified. And the dogs tackled me into a thorn bush. That was painful, but for that actually I actually got afraid of dogs for like a few years because of that. I got over it, obviously. I love dogs now, but when you're 3 years old and you've got dogs that are twice your size, 2 of them running towards you, and they tackle you into a thorn bush. So I guess that was kind of scary at the time, but I mean, I've never really had like a near-death experience or anything, so yeah. almost my turn, not quite. Who am I the most proud of in general? What am I the most proud of in general? That makes more sense. Honestly, this channel, really. Just this channel as a whole. It's my most impressive accomplishment, I guess, so far. So, definitely my channel. Have I traveled outside my state? If so, how many states have I been to? I have traveled outside my state. I live in Missouri. I've been to Iowa, briefly Nebraska, but I just drove through it, so that doesn't really count. And we're talking about, like, the corner of Nebraska. So, like, I didn't even drive through it for that long. It wasn't, like, across the state. It was, like, barely cut through it. Been to Kansas. I've been to Oklahoma. I've been to Texas. I've been to Arkansas, although that's mostly driving through it. I've driven through Mississippi. Well, no, I've stopped in Mississippi before to see Graceland. That's the home of Elvis, in case you don't know. The former home of Elvis. I've been to Tennessee. I've been to Kentucky. I've been to Illinois. I've been to Alabama. I've been to Florida. I've been to Georgia. I think I went to South Carolina when I was a little kid, because I had family that used to live over there. They don't anymore. That's it. So really all the states I visited have been essentially in the South and the lower Midwest. Basically states that are easy to drive to. Am I proud to be American? Sometimes. Do I support the Crusades? No, those are stupid. This guy has 4 questions. Question 1. Do I like Jimmy Buffett? He's okay. If I could live anywhere in the world, where would I go? I've already answered that question. I'd be fine with Canada. I'd be fine with Scandinavia. I'd be okay with Britain. I'd be fine with New Zealand. I'd be fine with Australia. Favorite U.S. state? I guess Missouri, because I live there. I don't know. Favorite drink? Coca-Cola. I love Coca-Cola, but I've been trying to cut it out recently. Coke's my favorite. The most aesthetically pleasing empire, in my opinion. In terms of the shape of the empire, the Achaemenid Persian Empire. It's just like the perfect empire shape. It's like hard to explain, but I just love the shape of the Achaemenid Persian Empire. That's the original Persian Empire with like Darius, Cyrus, and Xerxes and all that. Alright, time to check back on the game. Alright, it is my turn. I may begin. No one has been eliminated yet, although it appears that Attila the Buns is close. Oh well. If I had to guess, I'm guessing that pink is going to have all the capitals. So I'm going to guess that pink has all 4 of the Central Powers capitals. And how that works is if the next I couldn't take Sofia. So if Attila, Prussian, and Hunter can't take at least one capital, then he wins. So we'll see how that goes. Come on, Attila. Alright, well, I've essentially answered, like, every question on here that hasn't been a repeat question of some kind. Or a spam question or whatever. I'll try to refresh again, see if there's anything new. Oh, several new questions. Here we go. Have I thought about teaching geography? No, but I've thought about teaching history. Where did I get my education? Classified. I've already answered that. Thoughts on Anthony Fantano? I enjoy watching his stuff. He's a pretty good reviewer. Although sometimes I think he's too critical on his reviews on Mastodon, though. Let's see. Favorite national anthem besides the United States? I guess the French one. Do I watch Extra History? Yes, I do. They're a good channel. Do I think humans will ever colonize Mars? Yes. Favorite movie? Not sure I have one. I guess I could just say Empire Strikes Back, I guess, but... Yep. Well, it appears that, at least from what I can see, Attila... Well, it says he conquered one territory. I don't know if that means he took the capital. Still, it's up to you, Prussian Garbage and Hunter, to take one of his capitals back. Otherwise, Justin Gorband wins. Assuming he has all four. I mean, I'm just guessing. I can't see it, but considering he had Germany already, he's in close proximity to Austria, and he took Sofia and Constantinople. I'm going to guess that he did. Why do I like history? Because it's like, it's like a giant story. Oh, Justin's saying he doesn't have all four capitals. Okay, never mind. Am I interested in spaceflight? Not as much as I used to be when I was a little kid. And Prussian Garbage and Justin Gorband are essentially winning in terms of territories. Hunter, it's your turn. Alright, I will be right back. Alright, I'm back, and it is my turn again. Spoil time! Alright. It's time to do this like a boss. I'm gonna have to probably abandon the Russian plan for now. And I've eliminated green. Good job playing green. Alright. So I'm abandoning my Russia plan, and I'm going elsewhere. Good job playing green. He's the first person eliminated, which means now just Prussian Garbage's turn. This is why spells are fun, because like, it can really change the game, because you just get a sudden burst of troops and you can do movements that you didn't think about doing before. I don't know if you can hear that, but one of the neighbor's dog is barking. This game is online Risk, and it's on a website called Conquer Club. It's really great. The best part is turns, officially, you have 24 hours to do. So it's great for like, oh, like, I'm going to play online Risk, but I don't have the time. Well, that's great. Since turns are 24 hours, you essentially only have to check once a day. So, you know, I highly recommend you make an account. It's free. I mean, you can pay for like more stuff, but like it's free. If you have a free account, you can just do like 4 games. So like, four games at a time. So, and there's tons and tons and tons and tons of maps to choose from. Like this one's World War I in Europe, but there's plenty of others. So I highly recommend it. Yeah, I'm sorry I eliminated you, green. I mean, it just helps the game go by quicker. Number 8, let's put on that one. Yeah, I think I've explained this before, but like a spoil is essentially like you get either 3 spoils of the same color or 1 of each color, because there's blue, green, and red. And if you play those spoils, you get bonus troops, which is really helpful. And it is Justin's turn.